I think I want to start off by saying I did not expect Nippon Sangoku to immerse me so much in its world building and lore that you got me cheering for a fictional nation. I would absolutely love to put so much time into discussing the history of this world and the different players in it, but that's for another day. Because today, I want to dive into something that anime frequently talks about: revenge. There's something inherently satisfying in hurting someone who wronged you. There's a saying, an eye for an eye, and by extension, a life for a life. We see it happen with Eren Yeager after he lost his mother and swore to wipe out all the Titans. Guts after what Griffith did. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna show any of that. That was too traumatic. And then you also have the newer ones like Rudo from Gachiakuta, or even this freaking chicken anime. Loki Goto though, you probably should check it out. Each one of these instances bring out a powerful emotion in humans. Rage. Rage against an oppressive enemy. Rage against injustice. Rage against the death of a loved one. And the story of Aoteru Misumi is no different. Here's a young man who recently just got married, lives a life of peace, does agriculture, and loves making maps. Even though life is a bit hard in a fractured Japan, he has someone he genuinely loves and cares for. Someone who believes that even him could reunify Japan. I mean, if you have someone like that in your life, bro, I think she's the one. Yeah, she might be short-tempered sometimes, gets a little feisty, but it's cute, you know? Unfortunately, the Japan of Nippon Sangoku is not the Japan of our world. It is far more corrupt, far more violent, and people like Saki, Aoteru's wife, who have strong moral compasses, sees the injustice and feels the need to do something even if it meant risking their life. And it's at this very moment where Aoteru's life takes a sharp turn. Because after witnessing an abuse from a tax collector, Saki immediately comes to the aid of the civilian, embarrasses the tax collector, and asks him whether his activities were ordered by the quote-unquote fatso. The tax collector then assumes she is referring to the Lord of Home Affairs, Denki Taira, the same man who is puppeteering the Emperor of Yamato. She criticizes the man's belief that a person is superior based on ancestry, gender, origin, skin color, or appearance. She tells him that a person creates their worth from their own hands. And the tax collector took off running. Brother, let me tell you, I was scared. I knew the implications of going against power, and I was scared for this woman. Aoteru and Saki go back to their homes to get some sleep, while talking about agriculture, war, and bringing an end to the Sangoku period, so they can finally build a peaceful world. But Aoteru woke up alone. His wife wasn't beside him. While still sluggish from waking up, he noticed red stains on the snow, and fearing the worst, there he found a box containing the head of his wife. Behind are the perpetrators of her murder, Denki Taira, Maguro Toyota, and the man who wanted her dead, Kensuke Taira. And in a mere few seconds, filled with razor-sharp rage, Aoteru formulates a plan in his head. He would grab the tax collector's sword and slice his throat, then immediately stab Denki through his stomach without caring if he were killed. But before he could, something stops him. As quickly as he made the plan to kill, he started reasoning how everything was going to play out. It wouldn't matter if he died now and avenged Saki and kill her murderers, because someone from the Taira clan would just end up taking his position, continue the abuse of power, leading to many more suffering the same fate. This, in my opinion, is where Aoteru becomes the most dangerous person out of all the people in front of you. He is up against an enemy so powerful and so influential that he couldn't possibly change anything as a corpse. Instead of letting his emotions consume him, he channels all that rage into one unrelenting goal, a future Saki envisioned, and his first step was right in front of him. He bows his head down against the enemy and requests a chance to ask about his wife's execution, firstly about her charges. Denki elaborates that Saki hindered the tax collection process and disrespected him by calling him a fatso. Aoteru asks if he was there. He replies no, and just from this alone, Aoteru gains the upper hand. He acknowledges that his wife did indeed block the tax collection, but what was factually inaccurate was the claim that Saki called Denki a fatso. She did not specify any fatso and never mentioned Denki Taira. Instead, the person who assumed the fatso was the tax collector himself, Kensuke Taira. After hearing all of this, Denki orders the execution of his tax collector in 20 seconds. The greatest mistake in Denki Taira's life was not ending the life of Aoteru MIsumi. Aoteru would then bury his wife and set off to Osaka, beginning his journey. What makes this one of the most powerful scenes in Nippon Sangoku isn't because of the fact he held himself back, or that he was calm and handled the whole situation intellectually and at their own game, but rather he realized who his true enemy was. To reach the state and emotion he was at that time, there are at least two things you need to accept: your weakness and your enemy's strength. Killing the leader of a clan for revenge won't change anything if it meant someone would simply replace the cog and continue the cycle. Killing Denki now would satisfy his rage and avenge Saki, but ultimately, it achieves nothing. The uniqueness of Aoteru's enemies is fascinating to me because you're not dealing with something supernatural or the divine. His enemies are simply cunning humans who are willing to take it to the extreme through violence and fear. How Aoteru maneuvers himself whenever he encounters an obstacle in the series showcases how adaptable he is. It creates such an amazing feeling every time he wins, not of brute force, but by using patience and information. In the words of the famous Sun Tzu, every battle is won before it is ever fought. Anyways, I seriously have so much more stuff to talk about Aoteru in this anime when I haven't even talked about that time he challenged the higher authority and influenced the freaking emperor. Man, that was so good. But look though, rest in peace to Saki, man. If I was Aoteru, I probably wouldn't marry anyone else. And him yapping about Chinese vortex makes me want to pick up on some books too, you know, maybe some Lao Tzu. Okay, that's how you pronounce it. Other than that, all hail to Yamato and Aoteru. Who knows, this man might just be my next Eren or Lelouch. Alright, that's pretty much it from me. Have a blessed day, afternoon, evening, everybody. I'll see you on the next video. Sayonara.